Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame show. On a night of heavyweight hockey among title contenders, it was Canuck counterpunching that scored the knockout. And for only the second time this season, the Rangers have now been knocked down in consecutive games. Welcome inside our Delta MSG studios from the Garden alongside Steve Alliquette. I'm John Giannone. 6-3 the final, Vancouver over the Rangers. The last 5 wins for the Canucks, they have scored 30 goals. That's 6 goals per game on average. Offensively, dynamic, but they also got a lot of help in their own zone.
Yeah, I think that when you close the book on this game, Thatcher Demko was better than Igor Shesterkin. These are 2 of the best goalies in the NHL. Vezina worthy so far this season has been Thatcher Demko. Up until right now, I'd say that he is the favorite to win the Vezina. So you got a great performance out of him. The way that I would have approached him would have been different than the Rangers' approach on him. He's very good on the short game, and that's where he dominated the game. He's got one of the highest save percentages on screens, deflections, broken plays. That's where he's best. He's not as good at mid-range shots. Now, that is tough, though, because it's tough to coach into the players. And I wonder where this lies with them. And you know, I just showed John off camera a picture of me going down the mountain in Okemo, and I caught air. Okay.
Skiing, by the way.
I thought I was 10 feet in the air.
4 inches.
4 inches. Yeah. But it felt like I was doing a great job, and I think that's the way you can get misguided sometimes with offense, depending on the goalie that you're playing against. Had the Rangers been playing against Elvis Merzlikins and Columbus, they would have scored 5 goals tonight. Net front, because that's his weakness. This just so happens to be his strength. The Rangers did plenty to get offense. I just don't think in this game it was the right offense against that particular goalie. Yeah,
well, it was a night where Thatcher Demko made 39 saves, especially in the third period when the Rangers had their push. But really, the night belonged to that top line, and that is a high-powered top line with JT Miller and Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser. All 3 scored, in all 4 goals, 4 assists for that threesome. Yeah. And as Sam and Joe talked about on the broadcast, they haven't been together very long, just a couple games, but you get the feeling that Rick Tocchet might be on to something extremely special.
Right, so for anybody that tuned into the game against the Devils that they played on Saturday, you were probably coming to the rink like I was, hoping they were going to split the lineup and then even up and down their lineup the way they have all season long. And look, when you put those 3 guys together, they've already got a nickname and a moniker that tells you they're doing well. The Lotto line is what they're called, because of the numbers 6, 40, and 9 on the line, but they're very opportunistic. They had some really good reloads where they came downhill twice, and they're able to find one another. You've got highly skilled players that at this stage of the season are excited to be playing with one another. Why? Because it gets stale during this time of year, and this is almost just about in the dog days of the season, and now these guys are firing on all cylinders, and every one of their goals had creativity to it, it had speed to it, it had transition to it, and including the empty netter. So again, if you're looking at this game from the 50,000-foot view, you would say their goalie was better than ours, we lost. You could live on that one. Vancouver's a great team, a great offensive team, but if you played them over 7 games, how would you design the way that you would approach them? What changes would you make? Look, I'm looking at the season like this right now. The Rangers are going to play 1 game a week against a really good team. Vancouver was that team this week. In previous weeks, let's go back last week, it was Carolina. They lost that one. But the previous week, it was Toronto. They won that one. The previous week, it was Boston. They won that one. The previous week, it was Los Angeles. So the Rangers have won those big games all through the season up until these last 2 weeks. So, do you go back to the drawing board or do you start questioning yourself? I think the Rangers are in a good spot overall in their season. That goes without saying, but you know, you're just looking forward to the next big game to prove yourself and make a statement. Yeah,
4-point night for Elias Pettersson, 2 goals and 2 assists. We heard Joe Micheletti after the second period talk about how the Rangers needed to put 20 shots on goal in the third, down 3. They had a push in the third period. They got to 16 shots on goal, and they scored a goal within the first 4 minutes. Vincent Trocheck, second of the night. You kind of got the feeling that they were about to make it a game.
Yeah. So it looked to me like they were strategically trying to just get their shots on goal from mid-range, just trying to get inside enough to make Vancouver make a decision on them and then try and elevate on Demko. Demko, through the season, he's been getting beat over his glove more than anywhere else. Low blocker twice against the Devils on Saturday. So I was wondering if they were going to move it around a little bit, and they did. Trocheck goes high blocker side from mid-range. It's a great shot. He's able to score that one, and then, geez, can you imagine if this would have went in, John? Kreider's shot goes off the glove and off the top of the net. Then Laffreniere presses inside. He draws a penalty, so now the Rangers are on the power play, and if it wasn't for this one here that just misses the handle on Panarin, and then a blocked shot from Trocheck and another from Panarin, I thought the Rangers were sending a message at this point in the period that they were going to be able to make a stance and be able to make a game out of it. And, you know, you get to the point where you're kind of looking up and it doesn't go your way, and it seems like it's a long way to go when it's 5-3 at that point in the game.
Yeah, we mentioned the Rangers had 42 shots on goal. Jacob Trouba had 7 shots on goal, 10 shot attempts in this game. He played 19 and a half minutes, and he is at his locker inside the dressing room. Michelle Gingras spoke to the captain afterward.
Another high-powered night for you guys when it comes to chances. I think you finished with 42 shots on goal. How do you assess this game in its entirety?
I think just too much against. I think just the quality of opportunities that we gave up and obviously the amount of them, I think, is not a recipe for us to be successful.
What did you think of your push in the third period?
Yeah, I think a couple games ago we were in a similar spot and didn't respond well in the third. I thought the effort was there. It was a little better on the execution and the details, but you can't dig yourself that deep of a hole and expect to get out of it.
You mentioned just the type of chances that they were getting against. Just what made them so difficult to defend against tonight? What did they do well?
I mean, they're obviously a high-powered, high-octane offensive team, but I thought our details and the way we played, I think how we played, mentally just not sharp enough to be good for 60 minutes.
Jacob, it feels like lately you guys have been generating a lot of offensive chances, but maybe just the defensive stuff you're giving up. I mean, has that been the biggest issue in your eyes?
I think so. I think when we found success early in the season, it was playing solid defensively and limiting odd man rushes and just general opportunities and chances against. I think you look at our group, we got a pretty good special teams unit on both sides. I think not putting ourselves down in a hole 5-on-5 and giving up those opportunities and depending on our goalies to make too many saves that they shouldn't have to make. I think that's not where we were early in the year. I think that's kind of what's drifted into our game a little bit with the lack of details, like I said, and it's up to us to kind of dig ourselves out, recognize it, and get back to what made us successful early in the year.
Would you call this a trend now, the way it's been defensively?
Yeah, I think it's been more than one or two games for sure. It's tough to play, have a perfect season and go through without some ups and downs, but I think we were kind of not in a similar spot, but got down a little bit. It was maybe a month ago or so, and kind of just recognized it and addressed it and find our way out of it as a group. I think that's what we got to do again.
Jacob Trouba pointing to details, saying that they weren't good enough to win, and then also too much against. Quality of opportunities, amount of opportunities, not the recipe to be successful. But still a lot of shots on goal. So now look at the other end of the ice, and you started talking about it on the postgame show, Thatcher Demko's night. Now 20 wins on the season for him. He's 8-1-1 in his last 10.
Yeah, look, he's a big-time guy. He's going to be most likely a Vezina Trophy winner if he keeps it up. But he definitely does have that pedigree this season coming into this game, which you have to understand from a goalie's perspective. When you're coming into Madison Square Garden, you're always trying to put on a show. You're playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of motivation, a lot of euphoria when you start kicking them out. And look, it speaks for itself. He was amazing in this game. The Rangers had a lot of rebound chances in this game. They were quick there, But again, this is where Thatcher is very strong. He's a big goalie that hovers over the puck when it's tight to him. And I just felt like I don't know if the Rangers knew this or not, but that's really his strength. And when you're playing against a top guy, your pre-scout and your execution on that pre-scout, it has to be flawless, and it just wasn't in this game.
Yeah, so the Vancouver Canucks go to Jersey last Saturday, score 6. They come into the Garden tonight and score 6 again, including an empty netter at the end of the game.